what if the very solution to your deepest problems came with a price you couldn't perceive, a cost invisible to everyone but you? Imagine facing ruin, absolute rock bottom. Then this mysterious stranger offers a path to instant fortune. Do you take it? No questions asked. Or does your gut, warn you that some gifts come with a hidden unpayable price? Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get to the heart of what really matters. Today, we're not just telling a story, we're dissecting a really compelling narrative titled The Tailor's Test of Faith. We're going to explore how these classic moral parables, they still illuminate our modern struggles. Things like ethical shortcuts, the psychology of desperation, and maybe those often invisible costs of wanting everything right now.
Yeah, this deep dive, it's built around this single powerful narrative. And it's a tale that feels both ancient in its wisdom, but also completely relevant today. It's set against this harsh backdrop, a struggling rural town. But the core theme, that's universal. It focuses on one man's internal struggle against temptation and also, against external judgment from his community. We'll examine how something that looks like a miraculous solution to poverty can actually be a much deeper, more personal test, a test of character, of conviction.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's look closer at the setting, the protagonist. We open in Dustville, rural Oklahoma, a place where life is genuinely tough. The land's unforgiving. But community and faith, those are the bedrock. And here we meet Sam, a poor tailor, struggling. He's not just poor, he's right on the edge. Buried in debt, shop's empty. And he's got this ultimatum from his main creditor, Mr. Harlan. 1 week, that's it, or he loses everything. For Sam, who's a devout man, this isn't just losing his shop. It feels like losing his identity, maybe his dignity, his soul even. It's a moment of just profound vulnerability.
And what's immediately striking, I think, is how the narrative sets up this perfect crucible for temptation. Sam's desperation, it isn't just financial, isn't it? It's spiritual too. He's a man of faith, but his prayers, they seem unanswered. And that internal void, that feeling of abandonment, well, that makes him uniquely susceptible. His situation mirrors the kind of extreme pressure we can all face where rational choices get clouded by just overwhelming need.
Right. And it's in this precise moment, this crisis point, during a particularly dark, stormy night, the wind's howling, rain's pounding, that something, extraordinary happens. The door to his empty shop creaks open. A woman appears. Her face is veiled. You can only see her eyes, described as deep, glowing eyes. And what's really unsettling, she's standing perfectly still, completely untouched by the storm. It's an entrance that just screams something beyond the ordinary.
It is. What's fascinating here is the almost archetypal nature of it. This mysterious benefactor arriving in a time of dire need, untouched by the elements. It's a classic trope, really, designed to signal an otherworldly presence, someone or something outside the normal rules of Sam's world. It's a clear red flag, isn't it? A narrative device making us and Sam question the source of this sudden help.
And the offer itself is just as strange. She asks Sam to sew a quilt, okay. But the fabric she gives him is unlike anything Sam had ever seen. It shimmers like moonlight, it shifts colors, and it feels alive under his fingers. It's impossibly large, impossibly heavy, and with this impossible task, she gives him a pouch of gold coins. Old ones, old, heavy, and pristine. Not from around here, the catch. Done by tomorrow night, and crucially, tell no one. Sam's reaction says it all. What is this? This ain't no ordinary cloth. Folks around here don't use coins like these.
See, this isn't just an odd request. It's a very carefully constructed test. The fabric itself, resisting his tools, feeling alive, it symbolizes the unnaturalness of the whole deal.
Yeah.
It's wealth that doesn't come from honest work, right? Not from conventional means. And the secrecy clause, tell no one, that's paramount. It immediately isolates Sam, cuts him off from his community, his faith, the very things that define him. It's a classic tactic of manipulation, really. Isolate the vulnerable person to control them.
So Sam tries. He tries to work, but the fabric fights back. It slips away. His scissors, they won't cut it. It was made of steel. Panic starts rising. Then he hears this faint sob, and his hands just move on their own. The needle threads itself. The fabric glides under the machine. He's not. He's not in control. What kind of sorcery is this, he's wondering, heart-pounding. And even as the quilt gets finished, this chilling cold seeps into his bones from it. It's a profound loss of agency, isn't it?
Absolutely. And this is where the story really highlights the hidden cost. The quilt gets made, yes, but not by Sam's skill, not by his will. His craft, his identity as a tailor, it's being usurped, taken over. This isn't just about getting rich quick. It's about the erosion of self, that feeling of being an instrument, not an agent, that chilling cold. It isn't just physical. It's that spiritual unease, the moral dissonance starting to settle in. Long before he fully gets it, it's the first real price he pays. tangible.
And the immediate relief is tangible, too. He uses the gold, pays off Mr. Harlan. Harlan's eyes widen, shocked. He asks Sam where this gold come from, understandably. But even with the debt settled, that initial fear, that gnawing unease, it doesn't go away. He's left wondering, who was she? Am I caught in something bigger than me?
It's a classic psychological bind, isn't it? The immediate problem, the poverty, it's solved. That creates this powerful positive reinforcement, makes it tempting. But the underlying unease remains because the solution just feels fundamentally wrong. This is often where moral compromise starts. You justify the means because the end seems so good, even when the means are deeply unsettling. It's that subtle dance, relief on one side, burgeoning dread on the other.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting. Where the insidious nature of temptation truly unfolds. Days turn into weeks. The woman returns every stormy night, more unearthly fabric, more gold. Sam's life transforms. His home fills with food, new clothes, debts vanish. He has more money than he ever dreamed of. But each quilt, he feels it, weighed heavier on his soul. The whispers he hears, the cold, her glowing eyes, it's all chipping away at his faith. A voice whispers in his ear, Sam, the saint from God, wake up before you drown. It's this escalating internal conflict.
Right, this escalation perfectly illustrates the slippery slope of ethical choices. Each time he does it, each subsequent encounter makes it harder for Sam to say no. Why? Because he's increasingly invested in the gains. The demon, let's call her that, isn't forcing him. She's just presenting the opportunity, and Sam keeps choosing it piece by piece. That internal voice, maybe conscience, maybe something divine, it represents his soul still fighting back against this moral decay, a battle waged inside his own head.
And this internal conflict, it gets a face, a terrifying one. One night, she lifts her scarf just slightly, reveals a face that couldn't be human. Eyes blazing with unnatural light, a smile laced with eerie silence, and she warns him directly, Tailor, you've done well, but tell no one or you'll regret it. Sam's blood runs cold. The realization hits him like a physical blow. She ain't human, she's something else.
A demon isn't just a metaphor anymore. She's real, terrifying, present in his solitary world. What this scene does so effectively is it externalizes Sam's growing dread, makes it concrete. The demon's partial reveal, it isn't just a jump scare. It's the physical manifestation of the moral corruption Sam's been internalizing all along. And that warning about secrecy, it now carries a much darker weight. It emphasizes the bargain isn't just transactional. It's a binding contract with something malevolent. It confirms his worst fears and, raises the stakes exponentially.
Of course, in a small town like Dustville, sudden, unexplained wealth. It doesn't go unnoticed. Whispers spread like wildfire. That's Sam, starving one day, eating like a king the next. Where's the gold from?
Yeah.
Mr. Harlan, repaid so quickly, starts fueling these suspicions. Maybe crooked dealings, maybe dark arts. Sam overhears the rumors. He's torn. He thinks, I ain't a thief. But how could he explain when he didn't even understand it himself? He's caught. Between prosperity and his reputation just crumbling, a very real consequence.
And this is a crucial element. The community acting as a kind of external conscience. While Sam's battling this internal invisible demon, the town's gossip, their suspicion, that represents the tangible social costs, the reputational damage. It highlights just how isolating his situation is. He can't reveal the source of the wealth, so he's judged purely by appearances. It also sets up the ultimate test, doesn't it? Will he choose the community's validation, try to clear his name somehow, or stick to his own private truth, even if it makes him an outcast?
And that suspicion boils over. It escalates quickly into a direct confrontation. Mr. Harlan, a group of townsfolk, they burst into his shop, demanding answers. Sam, hands shaking, he tries to explain. About the woman, the strange fabric, the nightly visits. But the crowd, deeply skeptical. What woman? We ain't seen no one.
Sam's pulse is racing. He starts to even question his own sanity. Is he imagining it all? Then the town pastor steps forward, lays down the challenge. Sam, if you're truthful, bring her to us, shows this woman. This moment, it's a profound exploration of faith and perception. Really gets you thinking. Sam's truth, his reality, is invisible to everyone else. It highlights that some of our deepest moral battles, the demons we wrestle with, they often exist purely in our own consciousness. The community's disbelief, it isn't necessarily malicious, it's just they can't see what they can't physically see. It's logical from their view. But this forces Sam into this almost unbearable isolation. His only witness is himself. And he hopes. God. So the night of the confrontation arrives. Another storm, fiercer than before. Appropriate, maybe. Townsfolk are huddled outside his shop window watching. The door opens. The woman enters, fabric in hand, those glowing eyes fixed right on him. Sam, desperate for vindication, shouts, "See, this is her, right here." But he turns to the crowd. Their faces show only confusion, blankness. Sam, who you talking to? Ain't nobody there, Mr. Harlan says. Bewildered, Sam whirls back. She's still there, visible only to him. He gets it then. She's invisible to them. And her cold voice echoes, just in his mind. Tailor, I warned you, you've crossed the line. And the scene becomes truly terrifying at that point, because Sam's reality is completely fractured from everyone else's. He's seeing and experiencing something incredibly profound, incredibly menacing, while the community just sees a man shouting at empty air. They think he's mad. This just amplifies the stakes of his moral test. He cannot rely on external validation. No proof. His choice, whatever it is, has to come from inside, from internal conviction, completely independent of what others can see or believe.
The crowd outside surges forward, calling him mad, shouting, and inside the shop, the demon finally drops the pretense, reveals her true form eyes like fire, grin twisted. Horrifying. She tells Sam point blank, "You're bound to me now. You're working just so, and it's serving me." She lays out his fate. Inescapable. Threatens him with a return to nothing, worse than before, if he doesn't comply. This is it. The ultimate showdown. The moment of absolute commitment, one way or the other.
This is the narrative's climax, where the hidden cost of the bargain is fully, brutally revealed. The demon isn't just offering wealth anymore. She's demanding servitude, his agency. Ultimately, Sam's soul. It's a powerful metaphor for how ethical compromises, once you start making them, can lead to this deeper entrapment, where the initial solution becomes a far, far greater problem than the one it was meant to solve. Sam now faces this stark choice: material ruin or spiritual enslavement.
And in that moment, terror. His heart nearly bursts. But then he finds this incredible surge of courage from somewhere deep inside. He quavers, but he says it. "I'm God's child, not your slave, not hungry for your riches. If this is unholy, I reject it." Powerful words. And as he speaks them, this brilliant light fills the shop, startles the townsfolk outside. They see the light. The demon's eyes widen. In fear, she retreats, her form dissolving into smoke, but not before one last chilling warning. "This ain't over, Sam." Her echo fades. She vanishes.
What's truly powerful there, I think, isn't just the rejection of evil. It's the source of Sam's strength. Where does it come from? It comes from reconnecting with his core identity, his faith, that foundation he almost lost. He's choosing spiritual freedom, integrity over material security. A hard choice. The light that fills the shop, it's symbolic, isn't it? His renewed conviction. A divine counterpoint to the demon's darkness. And it offers this glimmer of hope. Even when others can't see your struggle, your internal choices can have profound external impact, visible impact, like the light.
This raises an important question, though. Can you truly reject something that once seemed like salvation? Something you relied on? Because even then, the demon tries one last time, tempts him with another pouch of gold, a gleaming necklace, one last chance. But Sam stands firm. He remembers a prayer from his childhood, from his mother. "Lord, I am in need of whatever good you send my way." And peace washes over him. He rejects the demon's wealth, proclaims, "What's God's is mine. Your gold can't chain me." He throws the unholy fabric down, a light bursts from it, then vanishes, and the demon, truly defeated this time, disappears like mist.
That final act of rejection, it's crucial. It's not just about saying no again. It's about reclaiming his agency fully and consciously distinguishing between true providence, real blessings, and these false promises. His mother's prayer reminds him, doesn't it, that true blessings align with your values. They come from a good source, unlike the demon's gifts. It really emphasizes that real wealth isn't just about stuff, accumulation. It's about alignment with your deepest principles, spiritual and ethical. The demon's final offer, the last day to try to chain him with glittering illusions, and Sam's rejection, that signifies his complete liberation, freedom.
So the aftermath. Sam's shop, it's no longer filled with demon gold. That's gone. But his heart is light. The immediate wealth vanished, but the peace he feels, profound. He reopens his shop, renewed. And as a gesture, maybe of faith, maybe gratitude, he sews a small quilt from old scraps, donates it to the church. Customers start trickling back in. Few, but each brought peace, the story says. He puts a Bible in his home, reads it nightly, trying to stay on the right path. And the townsfolk, initially wary, sure, but they slowly warm to him. They start to realize the depth of his trial, the strength of his final choice, his choice for faith.
And the story concludes with this powerful reflection. It resonates far beyond Dustville, I think. True wealth isn't seen with eyes, but felt in the heart. God's provision never comes through unholy paths, and the food of patience is always sweet. Sam's life becomes simple again, but filled with contentment. And that line, the demon never returned, but Sam knew she watched. It's subtle, but a lingering reminder, right? Even when we make the right choice, the shadow of past temptations, the vigilance needed to keep our integrity, that can endure.
So what does this all mean for us today? Sam's journey in Dustville, it wasn't just about escaping poverty, was it? It was about defining his deepest values, defining them in the face of this invisible yet terrifying pressure. He chose the slow, hard path: integrity, spiritual peace, a clear conscience, over the glittering, tempting shortcut the demon offered. It's a really powerful narrative about the courage it takes to align your actions with your innermost convictions, even when you stand completely alone.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, this deep dive reminds us that moments of extreme vulnerability, they can be these powerful crucibles for our character. The invisible demon concept, it challenges us to recognize that our deepest tests of integrity, they often unfold in private, unseen by others. It urges us, I think, to consider what we truly value most when we're faced with an irresistible offer, something that feels too good to be true. And how do we distinguish between a genuine blessing and a disguised curse, especially when desperation clouds our judgment, and maybe no one else can even validate our perception of the threat?
Think about Sam. He was starving, scorned by his community, offered immense wealth, instantly solving all his problems. Yet he chose to reject it all for something intangible, something his community couldn't even see. So, for you listening, what might be your invisible demon? What are the hidden costs you might be paying, maybe unconsciously, for seemingly easy gains, even if no one else sees them? And what would you ultimately be willing to sacrifice to uphold your deepest integrity?